Hello, friends. Welcome to another episode of TV is Our Real Mom. I'm Dave,
I'm Catie.
and you are listening to our weekly Survivor recap podcast in which we share our thoughts on the latest episode of Survivor. And last night we had episode 13 of Millennials versus Gen X. And the title, what was the title, Catie? I never know.
Apparently, it was called Slave the Survivor Dragon, but I don't recall anybody saying those words.
Yeah, I don't either. Are they referring to Will?
I think they're referring to Zeke, so it must have been Will that said it.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember that either. We'll have to go back and see if we can catch that. Um,
Yeah, I don't. It's usually notice it when they say the title, but I didn't notice it
yeah, I don't know
tonight.
where it
So,
comes from, but so apparently it refers to Zeke. What gives you that idea?
oh, because he was like the big Kahuna, and Will
Yeah.
slayed him, and I was really shocked to see that all the credit went to Will. That nobody really even talked about Adam's idol. Even Hanna was like talking about all the people she owed in the game, and Adam's name was not among them.
hmm
So it was like the idol play was just, which is
Yeah.
not how I saw it when it happened, but
Yep.
whatever.
Everything you said you were excited about for Adam last week.
Yeah,
Nobody else saw it that way, apparently.
apparently not. But then at tribal council, where Will was voted out, he did mention it, but that was the first inkling we got that it was even an object of discussion at camp. So that was weird.
Yeah. And like you said, the fact that even Hannah didn't even mention, wasn't she talking to Adam when she said it too? Like, or
I don't some either to him or about him, and she said she owed everybody in the game literally except Hanna or
yeah, she
except
was
Adam.
she was talking right to
And I
Adam,
was
right
like,
to Adam, I think, and she forgot to mention that Adam just wasted his idol on you. You know, how
yeah,
about
he
some?
pulled an idol out of his crotch for you, gave it up,
What am I,
and
chopped
you don't
liver?
owe him anything.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
Whatever.
weird to me.
I found it very odd, but okay.
So, how do you feel about Will going home?
I'm fine with it. I mean, has there ever been a quicker turnaround for someone who talked himself up and then just got immediately knocked down?
I don't know. I'm sure it's happened before, but yeah, I mean, it was a pretty telegraphed edit, I think, in this case that like
The
this was
first
going to.
half of the episode, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, and last episode going into this episode, I think you could tell last episode that the next person to go is going to be Will. I think that was
Yeah.
pretty obvious. Um, I don't know. I think we both predicted Will would go home. We took a stab at the two people that would go home. We both said Will, so I mean, I think it was pretty
No, you
obvious.
can't. And I was also surprised to see people like Brett and Sunday talking about how big of a threat Will suddenly was. And I was like, you make one move and suddenly you're a threat to win the game? Is that really how it works?
Well,
I don't know.
Adam called him dangerous as well, and I don't remember exactly why, but he at the time I remember thinking he had good reasoning to say that. So Will was becoming dangerous. I just can't remember why.
I just, it's hard because you just don't see enough in an hour a week to judge, to accurately judge, how the others are perceiving these people. Like all we have is what they say about them and little snippets here and there. And it, if he was perceived as such a threat, it's weird that we heard nothing about it until after this big move that he made.
Yeah, I think he was just becoming dangerous because he was just being more outspoken, and he's like, you know, even though it's not the best way to just be like, "Hey, look at me, I'm playing the game." I mean,
Hmm.
sometimes that's enough to get people to stop and pay attention. I mean, maybe that's what was happening.
Maybe, but
Yeah, I
I
don't
was
know.
kind of you know, I was kind of meh on Will. I mean, last week I was a
Yeah,
little worked up, but that was only because he was worked up.
yeah, he
And
got us worked up.
he got us a little, wow, how could you not? Just listening to him, you're like, dude, simmer.
Yeah,
But you know, he's gone. It's fine. I never expected him to win. And, it's funny because all season we've been saying how Will and Sunday are the invisible ones and they end up kind of going home. Bam
yeah,
bam. So maybe that's why they combine these two boots because it's Will and Sunday. So
Did you get both these votes right? Did you call Sunday going home as well? I can't remember who.
no, I said Will and Jay.
Oh, you said Will and Jay.
Sunday didn't even cross my mind.
Oh,
Like, why would you get rid of Sunday?
well, I guess
Still a bit bum puzzled on that
I
one.
listened to a lot of the RHAP podcast this week, and I think it was David Bloom that said that he thought it would be some mix of the easy
David
votes.
Bloomberg?
Yeah, is it Bloomberg? Yeah, I get him. There's Mike Bloom and David Bloomberg.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, there you go.
So, yeah, which one was it? David Bloomberg.
They both had a podcast this week, so
Oh crap!
could have been either one.
Well, yeah, one of them said it would be a mix between Will and either Brett or Sunday, sort of the easy, low hanging fruit.
That's
vote.
true. He was right, wasn't he?
He was totally right. And this
But
is the guy.
but I'm
he's the guy too
completely.
he's right more often than not, and he's kind of annoying about patting himself on the back about it too. He's like,
Yeah, he does
"Pat
like to do
myself
that.
on the back, dude." Yeah, but he's a good guy, but I mean, come on.
I think we need to take a few minutes here and discuss Hanna's game because I feel very perplexed by it. Like, are we supposed to be thinking she's playing a good game?
Yeah.
Like, what is happening with Hanna's game?
I don't know. I'm just as confused as you are, so there's no way I can eloquently express my ideas on the matter.
Well, just by what you've watched the last few weeks, do you think Hanna's playing a good game? Does she have a chance to win? No matter who she's sitting at the end with.
I'll go ahead and say I don't think she's playing a bad game, and I think she does have a chance to win. But I also do feel like there's a bit of edit coming into play here. We're getting sort of an edit that portrays her thought process and decision making in such a light that it's obvious she's going to be in the final three, if you ask me. I don't know. And that's been obvious for a while. Yeah. Whether or not she can actually win when she gets there, that's a whole nother story. It depends on who she's sitting next to. If she's sitting next to Brett and Ken, I think she can win. Which is unfortunate because my MVP is Brett, and there's really nobody Brett can sit next to now. I mean, if he can't sit next to Hanna and win, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the one reason why I didn't understand the Sunday thing, because I feel like Hanna would have had a pretty good shot against Brett and Sunday, and it seemed like she had a working relationship with both of them from Ikabula, and guarantee that you're going to go to the end with some combination of David or Adam or Jay. I mean, one of those guys is probably going to be there. So why are you doing that to yourself?
Well, my only thought was, I think she was talking to Ken and David when she explained her thought process. And it was basically, okay, what if we take out a goat, and that way Adam doesn't have anybody that he can sort of vote us out, because, I want to take Sunday, so that means I have to vote out Hanna. I think that was her thought process, was that let's get rid of the person that Adam's going to like turn everyone against us to keep around, That's, I feel like it was sort of like a one move ahead of Adam's game. And I think there is some wise thinking to that, because I think that's exactly what would happen if Adam is able to get rid of David this week. I think he immediately turns his sights on Ken and then Hanna,
No,
so,
I think he
or
could take Jay after he goes after Ken.
Sorry. Jay and then Ken. Sorry. Either way, I guess either way, I don't know why Hannah's freaking out, because she seems to be in a good spot where she's pretty much going no matter what.
I think it comes down to, even though Hanna gets credit for the move,
and
I don't want to be, just because I don't like Hanna, I don't want to give her credit for the move. I don't really understand the move, but I think that she was so, like, she's forged such a relationship with David that she doesn't want to consider getting rid of him. I think that's what it came down to. Ken and Hanna weren't sold on getting rid of David, even though they knew they should. And that does that not come down to David's strong social bonds?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I think Ken I think even in this episode, he said to the camera, like, I can't vote out Dave. That's my
Yeah,
boy.
Ken's never voting out Dave.
Yes, he said he couldn't do it. And I think Hanna, yeah, is in the same position. So there you go. You got a solid 3 in with only 6 people left. I mean,
Yeah,
what
and it's
options do
hard
you have?
not to imagine that that's your final 3. I really hope, because that's what everybody's saying, that the final 3 is going to be Ken, David, and Hanna. And I really hope there's some sort of mix-up within that, because, that's...
It's a
I
little
don't
too
like knowing what's going to happen going into it. I want to be shocked and surprised.
Yeah, it's a little
In a
too
good way.
predictable, but yeah, it makes the most sense because yeah, that is the tightest 3 in the game. With if they were able to get rid of, well, who else is left that I'm forgetting? Jay's kind of the wild card here because I feel like Adam and Brett and Sunday, they sort of had developed a tight 3. It was a little late for this to be developing, but I think it had legs. Like it would have gone to the end.
Mm-hmm.
And now with Jay as sort of a wild card, and Adam and Brett are maybe tight, but they're not as strong as the 3 between Hanna, Ken, and David. So
Right, like when they were at the well discussing they wanted to get rid of Will, Adam and Brett and Sunday seemed to have this idea that the 3 of them plus Ken and Hanna could move forward and take out all the big threats. But again, it comes back to, are Ken and Hanna willing to vote out David? And it would appear not.
did someone just knock on your door?
Yes.
Okay. Do you need to get that?
I don't know.
Should we just
I'm not expecting anybody.
Okay, we'll just keep talking. They can deal with it. Anyways, yeah, I lost my train of thought.
That's okay.
So we're talking about Ken, Hanna, David.
Just a minute. Hold on a second.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Well, I'll try and think of something to talk about. So yeah, I guess yeah, the strongest 3 in the game is Ken, Hanna, David. So that's probably going to be the final 3. I'm with Catie. It'd be cool to have a variation, at least one different person in there. But I got to imagine if David ends up making it to the end with Ken and Hanna, that he is the guy to take the win. I don't know. But yeah, obviously we want to see Adam and Jay make it to the end, but we can't have both of them, can we? I mean, we can't have both that? Adam and Jay.
Oh, what a dream. What a dream come true that would be. That moment, were you talking about the moment between them? Sorry.
No, I wasn't. I was talking about, I was just saying that basically looks like it's going to be Ken, David, and Hanna at the end. And I think David, if he makes it to the end, David is our winner. But
you don't see Hanna because I don't know. They're building towards the edit she's getting.
Yeah, they're building towards a Hanna. The only edit she's getting is Hanna played good. Hanna played good enough to get to the end. That's the edit she's getting.
Okay.
But if David's there with her, I think everyone would give it to David because he did so much. He did so much to impact the game and so many things that are like obvious, And
yeah,
he's got the best story. The best, people are endeared to him for the most part. Although I don't know, we talked a lot about in kind of mid-season how David was sort of getting, well, Brett and I think Brett and Zeke were kind of coming down on him for, we don't buy this.
They were immediately chastised. And then I've read some other things that say that Brett had some outbursts, like he was kind of a hothead out there. And so I don't think there's a consensus out there that people feel that way about David. I think that was heat of the moment tribal council stuff.
That he's like playing some sort of character to get sympathy, that this is all sort of just an act or something.
Yeah, and we have to think about the jury, and I think that the jury is going to be more Team David than Team Hanna, just judging from like Sunday's exit interview. She said that Hanna was very condescending. That could have just been Sunday's perception, but one juror's perception, is one vote you're probably not going to get. So,
well, yeah. Well, how do you think Taylor and what's her face? I already forgot her name.
Michelle.
Michelle. How do you think Taylor and Michelle feel about David?
That's hard to say. I really don't want to put myself in a mind space where I think like Taylor, so I'm not going to go there.
Well, I think of that time on the like peanut butter and jelly sandwich reward thing, or the gen.
Right. They do have a connection. I forgot
So
about the Survivor Summit.
yeah, David went to Taylor and he made a play for Taylor's like loyalty. And I think Taylor might actually remember that and respect that enough to
Maybe.
give him his
You
vote
can hope
over
so.
Hannah. I don't think he liked Hannah enough to just give her his vote because they knew each other. I think Taylor might give it to David based on his gameplay,
Or
his effort.
Ken, though. I mean, if Ken's there,
Yeah, I guess
Taylor
Ken's.
and Ken were kind of tight. And another reason that makes me think that it's going to be Ken and his coalition that makes it to the end is because of the legacy thing. Like, here's a
Yeah,
guy who has an advantage. If it is something crazy, like he just gets to vote somebody out, say goodbye to Jay, unless he has immunity, or Brett. You know,
yeah. Can we talk about that quick? So
the advantage.
Ken is going to get the legacy advantage because Jessica gave it to him, and he has had it for what, several days, 10 days,
Since she got voted out, so
a
it's been a
week or
while.
something.
Yeah.
He's had it for a week, and so the deal was, you make it to day 36, you get to use it. But we
That's
don't know
correct.
what it is.
What is
What?
do you
Yeah, what do you think it is?
Well, I'm sticking with my theory that I
What's
proposed last week,
what is it again?
that it's crazy powerful and that he just gets to vote somebody out, because they have to get through how many tribal count? They have to whittle 3 people down before they even get to final tribal council. So if they knock one of those out real fast, that could be one way to do it.
Yeah. Even if it's not that powerful, it could be something um close enough to that where they can quickly vote somebody out and he's in control of the vote one way or
You
the
know what
other.
I'm you know what I'm worried about, though?
What's that?
What I have a sneaking bad feeling that it might be
What?
is there hasn't been like an auction or any kind of challenge where you get an advantage in in another challenge.
Yeah.
Like, if that's all it is, I'm pissed.
I think that might be what it is.
You don't have build up for 36 days and then have it just be another dumb advantage in a challenge, because what's the point of keeping it secret, of passing it on and passing it on?
Because
I just
ultimately it's still an advantage in the game, and that's all it is. I mean, they don't want to make
Then
it
why not
too.
just present it at a challenge like they did have done in the past?
Well, I think the legacy thing played into the theme of the season, which is Millennials versus Gen X. It's a generation thing, and I think it has to do with the legacy that your generation leaves behind for the next generation. And I think that's the whole reason they put this thing into this season. I don't think it needs to be super powerful, personally.
Yeah, but legacy also means like one person to the next. You know what I mean? Which is what that advantage is. I think that's where the legacy comes in.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, it's passing something on. It's passing
Yeah,
on
but
a
not
legacy.
necessarily from generation to generation.
Yeah, but I believe that's why they felt like it fit into the season, because it fit with the generations, like a legacy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But I'm still gonna be really mad if that's what it is, because you don't. That's dumb.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't want it to be super powerful, and
I do.
I don't want it to be weak. It's going to be really hard for them to find that sweet spot, I think.
If you're gonna drop that out there, you better make it pay off, Survivor. Like, don't just puss out and make it be, ooh, you get an extra hour to practice hula hooping.
Yeah.
Forget it.
Yeah, I hope it's nothing like that, but I mean, somewhere in between would be good for me. I don't think I want Ken voting somebody out, but
Yeah, that's the thing, because Ken's just gonna vote out Jay, and I really want Jay to make it further. I don't know how he can, other than winning out, but
yeah.
he could.
So that brings us back to the train of thought I was on when you jumped back in,
Mhm.
which is like Adam and Jay. Obviously, we would love both these guys to make it to the final 3. Like my ideal final 3 for this season would be David, Jay, and Adam, and I think anyone could agree with that, right? I mean,
Yeah, definitely.
um, uh, yeah, I was just telling you earlier today that um who ranks those Survivor seasons in like
That's
EW
Dalton
articles?
Ross. He's been reporting on Survivor for Entertainment Weekly forever.
Yeah, so that's Dalton Ross just officially said pre-finale that this season ranks at number 9 all-time best season, which is
That's
really
high.
good.
That's
It's
really
very
high,
good.
yeah.
But yeah, we were saying, yeah, if Adam wins or
Moves up.
Jay wins, I would say the season moves up a little bit,
Yeah.
a couple spots. Yeah.
I would think. And especially if Adam wins, like the emotional impact that
Component.
would have,
Yeah. Yeah.
it would be really hard not to just
Love that.
shower this season with love from here until eternity. Especially if he, wins it based on his gameplay. That's the reason he hasn't told anybody about what's going on, is he doesn't want sympathy. He doesn't want, he doesn't want people to know what he's going through. He's just a game bot out there, except when he had his moment with Jay. Jay seems to be the receiver of all his emotion. Like, none of the other players really see that. It's just Jay.
Yeah, I mean, he does seem to have a bond with Jay, even though, I mean, he said they're yin yang, like they hate each other and they love each other. I don't know if that analogy lines up, but yeah, I mean, they do seem to have this bond that's special. Like, I know you loved the scene where they're on the hammock together, right? I mean, that was like,
How
really,
could you not? And it also
really good
kind of
stuff.
came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It came out of nowhere. First of all, how open Adam was with Jay. Like, look, you need to play your idol because I'm not going to get to the end if you don't. And all
Yeah.
that, and basically telling him to his face, I'm going to flush the idol tonight, so you better play it. But then a second later, they're like bonding over their moms, and it's just, they have a unique relationship that we've never really seen on Survivor before. And it's bizarre to think they would ever go to the end together. I know that Jay wants to take Adam,
but not vice versa.
Right, not vice versa, because Jay would win. I think Jay has a lot of jury votes. Jay gets to the end. I think he wins.
Yeah, so, people love Jay, for sure.
He's got Michelle and Taylor, and Sunday loves Jay from all her exit interviews. I think Will does too. Zeke does. Yeah, he's got a lot of votes.
And Sunday could convince Brett to vote Jay.
Yeah, he's got a lot of people on the jury, and so it makes sense for people to get him out. But it's
going to be really, of anyone, he's got the toughest route to the end. I mean, he pretty much has to win out, right?
Yeah, I think he does. That's why flushing the idol was so important, because if he hadn't played it, which he thought about not doing, which I couldn't even believe, but then he would have been able to use it at Final 6. He's solid into the Final 5. I don't think you can even use it at that point. So he would have saved it until the very last moment, guaranteeing his safety. And then that Final 5 obstacle course is usually a big one, so he probably could have won that.
Yeah, for sure. Did you see in the preview that David makes a fake hidden immunity idol?
Adam's out there looking too, so.
I mean, do you think there's an idol hidden out there?
There's one, you'd think they would. You know how it's too tempting. All idols have been played. They have one more chance to play it. Why wouldn't they just throw one more out there and see if someone gets it?
I'd be okay with it. One more is fine.
Yeah, there's only one more night to play it.
Yeah, and then you still got to get through a couple more votes, without it. So it seems reasonable to put one out there.
I think they should. Or should have. This is in the past.
Yeah. So did we cover, whether voting Sunday made sense or not? I guess we kind of did. Did we finish?
You seem to be more of the belief that it made sense than I am. Like, I was trying to look at it.
I'm sort of like trying to make sense of it rather than believing that it was the best move,
Like, Ken, I understand. Ken is old school Survivor. He's playing loyalty. And that's going to get him to the end. He's not going to win. It'll probably get him to the end.
Right.
Hanna is of this new school, crazy voting block era.
Trust cluster.
No, let's not. How does she not see that keeping David around is dumb? Does she think she can beat David? Is that what it comes down to? And can she?
I don't know. I don't think she can, for one thing. I don't think she can, not Ken.
Have you been watching the secret scenes? Like Ken has turned into this character. He's just like this weird guy who votes with David and has his own cooking show. Like they always have a secret scene where Ken is cooking, and that's like all it is.
Yeah, I mean, remember like how hard on Ken we were before the season?
Yeah.
I feel like, and then immediately in the first couple episodes, we changed our minds. We're like, Ken is awesome. We were totally wrong. And I feel
Now it's
like as the season's gone on, we're starting to see that person that we saw. Like our snap judgment is starting to become more true.
Yeah, it may have been more accurate. Like I don't think he's a douche. I think he's sweet and he means well, but I can see how it would be hard to be around that all the time.
Yeah, I think the side of him we didn't see coming was that he would be a more introverted person and like a sweet guy. That was a little unexpected because oftentimes, really good looking people turn out to be arrogant because everyone's always kissing their ass all the time. But yeah, so that side of him wasn't expected, but he did turn out to have this sort of like arrogant, douchey side in a way, and that's come out more towards the end of the season, which is too bad.
I mean, they're set there. Whereas Hannah's getting a potential winners at it, Ken's getting a. I feel so.
Yeah, for sure.
Where were we before that? Oh, Hanna, and does she think she can beat David? And can she beat David? I guess we've already kind of talked about it. I don't know.
I would say that she can't beat David. I don't know that she thinks she can beat David. I think it comes down to what you talked about at the beginning of the podcast here, that it's about loyalty and it's about she likes David. She said she freaking loves David. So yeah,
that's true.
That's what it comes down to.
Maybe that's all it comes down to. But she might be throwing away her game by deciding to go to the end with him.
Yeah.
But I know. I mean, Michelle won last year. Maybe what we're seeing is not what other people are seeing, and maybe she has a good shot at winning. But here's what I find funny is when they keep mentioning the threats, like Will last week in his pendulum strategy, he talked about Zeke, David, and Jay. And then this week, Brett was talking about threats. No one mentions Adam as a threat.
Yeah.
Is he not seen that way?
I don't understand. I mean, he kept his idol secret the whole time, and he didn't play it till last week, so no one really saw, what was Adam doing.
Nobody knows the emotional journey that he's on, which paints him as more of like a hero in the viewer's eyes. But
yeah, I think Adam's strength comes with his sneaky play, his sneaky gameplay, and when you're sneaky, you can't really tell anyone how good you were till the end, so you aren't seen as a threat, which is I mean, that's kind of how Survivor has evolved, is like, how can I be a threat
without seeming like one,
without anyone knowing I'm a threat until the very end. If
that's the case,
which is like nearly impossible,
I feel like he would have a good shot in the end. God, I hope it's something different. I don't want it to be Ken, Adam, and Hanna, or Ken, David, and Hanna, just because it's too easy, Yeah,
I feel like that's an obvious final three with an obvious winner. Granted, I would be happy with a David win. I would be totally fine with that.
Yeah, of course.
Although, did you listen to Tyson, his podcast at all?
Most of it. It got a little long, but I think I listened to most of it.
Yeah, I really liked his read on David. I feel like that is an archetype of player that exists in Survivor now, and it works surprisingly well. It's like this person that they act helpless all the time, so everyone will do everything for them, and then at the end you can say, look how far you've come, you've grown so much, and it's like it works really well in these Survivor Big Brother type games for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, and he's a TV writer. If it turns out that like Final Tribal Council, it's all an act.
No, it's not an act. But
I mean. Like it seems like David is genuinely that person. It is an archetype, but he was think of his first day and how crazy he was acting, and like how much he has evolved. You can't deny that journey that he's gone on. Yeah, and you could say the same about Hanna, maybe, but I don't think it endears itself to people the way that David's journey does. And I don't know why, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
and I don't think Tyson believes either that it's an act, but he just
Okay.
doesn't like this type of player because Tyson is the kind of
I
guy
can't
who
relate.
yeah, Tyson's the kind of guy who will have to do things for David and then watch David win the game, and it's got to be really frustrating for those types of people. And to be
But they
honest,
all
I can relate more to David. That's kind of the type of player I feel like I would be.
right.
I would be more of the guy who's like, guys, I don't even know what I'm doing, and then make like a joke about it and be
Hmm.
self deprecating, and then everyone's like, ah,
Hmm.
he's so like he's such a normal guy, he's just a you know what I
That's
mean?
kind of
And
how I live my life. I
yeah,
don't know what I'm doing, and then in your head
yeah.
you're like,
And then someone's
whatever.
helping you and fixing everything for you, and you're like, oh, thanks, and then I'll take that $1,000,000. Yeah, that's
Yeah, yeah.
frustrating.
Well, it's a lot. I mean, think of all the paranoia he has endured, and
Mhm.
all the true, like, strong relationships he's actually built. Like, it's a lot more complex than that. And if
Yeah.
you just are basing it on archetypes, yeah, that's the archetype he is. But I don't want to take away from what he's actually experienced out there.
Yeah, I think there is a little more to it, but yeah, I really do feel like Tyson was onto something with that. It's basically the Cochran type of player.
Yeah. Well, they do say that David helps a lot around camp. At least he wasn't
Yeah,
off eating coconuts in secret.
but
But we
I
don't.
imagine that's something he sort of developed, as the game went on. He's like, if I just start learning how to do stuff around camp and keep helping and getting better at it, people are gonna respect me. And
Yeah.
that's good on him. That's good gameplay, right?
Hmm.
I mean,
That's
good for
true.
him. Yeah.
Very true.
So, anyways, what else? What else is there?
I mean, do you see a path for Adam to the end?
Immunity wins.
I mean,
uh,
he's not on the top of people's lists to get out. Like, they want to
no,
get out David
and Jay.
and Jay, but if Ken, Hannah, and David are tight, and what if it goes to Rocks again? You know what? I had a dream that the finale was on. I just remember this, and
Oh
they
yeah,
went to Rocks 2 more times,
two
which is
more times.
it's not possible. I've
Yeah,
done the math.
that
It's
can't happen.
impossible to go one more time and then have a fire build contest. But I had a dream that there were 2 more rock draws in the
So,
season.
so your dream is wrong.
And then, well, that's just dumb. You don't want to leave the winner of Survivor up to fate.
Yeah, that's true.
But maybe not that my dreams are prophetic or anything, far from it. But I'm just saying it is possible that you have like a 3-3 split. But that's dumb.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it. Maybe.
Yeah. I think Adam will stick with Ken and Hannah and get out Jay.
But yeah, what if Jay wins the next immunity? I'd say it's Adam, no question, right?
Then Adam's gonna want to go for David because they put it off to get out Sunday.
He's gonna want to go for David, but I really do feel like this Ken David Hannah thing is strong to the end
Yeah, but
now
they're 3 people.
against three. Yeah. Well,
They could pull Jay,
Jay will just vote for Adam.
but he wants to go to the end with Adam. He's a
Hmm.
warrior.
I guess I could see Brett going out at 6-2.
Yeah. Then you get rid
Because
of the last goat,
yeah, and
except for Ken, I guess. But
yeah, and it's just an easy vote if you all like each other. Let's say Jay has the necklace, and I mean Adam, regardless of not being as tight with as the three are, he is the fourth.
Mhm.
He's the fourth in that group,
Mhm.
and they could just say, "Hey, we're all tight," and Jay's got the necklace. Let's vote Brett. I mean, that
Mhm.
could happen for sure.
Yeah.
So and then there's no way Adam can get there without winning at least one of the immunities, if not
Yeah.
two of the three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Otherwise it's just not going to happen. And to be honest, I don't see him winning one or two, maybe one. I could see him winning one. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I think at this point he just wants to get out Jay or David. If I were him, I'd rather get out David first
Yeah, because Jay's
because
going
then
to be obvious. But
you knock down that group, knock up the main person out of that group.
mm-hmm.
but then you leave Jay in the game with a chance to win immunity again. I mean, this
which
is
could
your own
happen.
dumb fault for leaving both of those guys in the game this long. I mean, it's their own fault.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't take them both out unless maybe that's what the legacy is, some weird double elimination thing.
Yeah.
I just don't see a way where
It's tough. It's tough road for Adam, but if he gets
yeah.
there, I think he can win with the
Yeah,
right.
that's the thing. It seems like an easy road for David, but he's the one freaking out in the preview, making fake immunity idols and all this. So, again, we're not, obviously, it's an hour show, and we got, 2 eliminations in one episode in 1 hour. So there's information we're lacking. But it seems like David has the easiest path right now. So
Well,
therefore, Adam and
to the
Jay
win
should,
or to the end.
to the end, and
Okay.
therefore the win, I think. But
Well, yeah, I think. I mean, Hanna has the easiest path.
yeah.
She's there. I mean, she's there.
That seat's got her name on it. One of those
Yeah.
seats.
And I mean, I don't really understand why Brett isn't going to get to the end, but I don't think he's going to get to the end.
No, I don't think so either.
So how? Like, how does he not? He's not a big threat to win, I don't think.
Because I think David wants, when he goes to the end, he wants to use one of his selling points is going to be the loyalty thing.
Yeah, he's like, I've had bonds with Ken and Hanna.
Because in a game that was full of such fluid voting blocks and trust clusters, if you can sit there and say, look, I've been with Ken since day one.
Oh, yeah.
We were never going to not take each other. I mean, that speaks to people,
Yeah, it's always nice to be able to say that, the loyalty card.
Yeah, so I don't know. I really hope it's a twisty, topsy-turvy episode and we're all shocked.
You always hope
in a
for
good
that.
way. Yeah,
Of
but
course,
I don't know.
what did you think of the challenge with the discs? Wait, not the discs. I'm more interested in the challenge with the pinball.
Second one?
The pinball puzzle.
I felt their frustration. I felt like I would have been so frustrated trying to do that. I would have been screaming.
Yeah, it looked very difficult.
And it worked out well for Adam because no matter, he was trying to help Ken win, but it could have looked like he was trying to stop Jay or he was trying to stop David. So it worked out. Both worked out in his favor because those were the two closest to winning.
Yeah.
But it was a smart move, but it kind of should have, shown his hand. And I think Hannah's onto him a little bit. And maybe the rest of the group is like, we need to get rid of Adam too, but
yeah. I liked how there was kind of a little bit of foreshadowing at the end of the challenge. They showed the ball drop on the yellow one and the orange one. Mm-hmm. Nobody else is at the very end. Guess who's those were David and Jay's. Mm-hmm. And it was sort of foreshadowing that these are going to be the two, the two targets.
Think they do that on purpose?
I thought so, because they were the only two they showed drop.
Yeah.
But then, it turns out Sunday is the actual vote. But I thought they were doing that to show that those are the targets, or whatever. So.
Yeah, it's strange. Once again, we had a woman go out who had no. She didn't even have a confessional, and this was her boot episode.
Yeah, she didn't get much in this episode, did she?
She didn't get much in the season.
Yeah, touche.
She was quite invisible.
Yeah, I mean, she went out pretty much where we expected.
Yeah.
Around.
It's just I couldn't tell you a whole lot about her.
I guess if I would have guessed, she would have gone out at 5. But I guess she went out a little earlier than expected.
Yeah. I thought she was going to be sitting at the end. I really did.
Oh.
Because those mom types, they usually do. But if they do at the same time, they tend to get an edit, like Lisa Welchel and Dawn. They've been edited that way, had a story. And I couldn't say that about Sunday.
Yeah,
except
Dawn,
for that one episode where she tried to get Jess out.
Oh, yep. She was visible in that one. But, yeah, most of the season, not much from Sunday.
But
Okay, what
And now
else?
one woman remains.
That's right. 5 guys and 1 woman. That's crazy.
Yep, and it's a bummer because I don't know, I've gone back and forth on Hanna, but right now I'm kind of not feeling Hanna. But did
Yeah,
I not tell you though that she was going to go far? Remember when I said that?
who you said what?
Was going to go very, very far.
That Hannah was?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't remember. When'd you say that?
A few podcasts ago, like before the merge or right after the merge, I think.
Oh, yeah, maybe you did say that.
I did say that.
Okay, cool. Um, yeah. I don't what else you got, Catie?
I mean, I don't know. We could make our finale predictions.
Oh boy, I'm excited.
I don't know. I feel like we've already kind of said
Yeah,
what's going to
we kind
happen.
of have. I mean, and that's pretty much the guns I'm gonna stick to. Actually, I'm probably gonna let you go ahead and
Go first,
give
as
the
you always do.
yeah. You can give the real prediction. I'll give my bold prediction.
No, mine's bold too, because I don't want to go with that prediction.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll give the easy one then.
I want to have some faith that Survivor can still surprise us.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with an Adam victory.
Wow. God, that would be amazing.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah. This season would go move up to like number 4 or 3 or something like that.
It would go up high,
Yeah.
according to Dalton Ross. He's not the only person who does these things.
Right. Yeah.
But in my book, too, like, can you imagine a more emotionally, strategically satisfying winner?
Yeah. Be very solid for the season. Um, yeah, I feel like I want to say Brett can win because like that's my MVP, you know. When your MVP gets to the finale, you got to be
Your
like,
MVP
"Hey,
is not going to win.
you got to be like, "Hey, it's going to be a Brett win for sure," you know. But yeah, I can't see it. It'd be cool if it could happen some crazy way, but
Mhm.
I don't see it. Um let's see. Then I'm just going to go with the most likely scenario to me is yeah, Ken, David, and Hannah are the final 3, and David wins.
Yeah, that's very likely, I think.
Yeah. um,
So you both would be great winners.
MVP for this episode, we never did that.
Mm. Uh, the
I want to give it to Adam because
he got Jay to play his idol,
he got Jay. Yeah, I mean that's the big thing. He was able to get Jay to flush that idol, and
and he
yeah, I
kind of
mean
was the engineer behind the will vote too.
yeah, and he's still in the game. I mean, there's a lot of credit to be given there.
Yeah, let's
Um,
give it to Adam, or I'll give it to Adam.
And then you part of you wants to give it to David too, just for somehow surviving both those votes again.
Yeah, and this isn't the first time he's been a target, so yeah,
Yeah,
both are worthy, just as both are worthy winners. So
yeah,
I hope it's one of those two, or Jay.
cool.
A Jay win
Well,
would be good too.
I'm getting way ahead of myself here, but I can't wait for next season.
Oh boy. You know what
Next,
though?
yeah,
I feel like a good season that you aren't expecting to be good. Like, remember when we heard Millennials versus Gen X? We were like, ah.
yeah,
And this has been a really good season. It was slow at the beginning, and I wish they would rush through the beginning and go slower at the end instead of rushing through the end, because those episodes are always more interesting and the
yeah.
dynamics are more interesting and the gameplay is at a higher level. So I will say that, but
Hmm.
it's always, I don't know, it's like the level of gameplay has been almost on par with a second returning player season.
Yeah, for
And so,
sure.
I mean, I always like being surprised more than disappointed. And I feel like our seasons have a potential to disappoint you, especially when you bring back people you loved the first time, like whatever. We won't spoil who's coming, although we kind of have in past podcasts, but
not flat out. I don't
not
think
a
we
lot.
did.
No, but I don't want to get my hopes high for a returning season, but it does have potential to be a shit show of a season.
Yeah, I just
will
think
say
it's
that.
like a lot more fun to talk about because you already have like you already know so much about the
That's true.
players.
And it's fun to see like players who never played together suddenly interacting. Like that's always so fun.
Oh yeah, and when you've seen every season, you can talk about past seasons that player has been in, as well as you get to talk about old seasons and remember how they played the first couple times or whatever. So that's
Yeah.
always fun as well. So yeah, that's gonna be. I'm looking forward to podcasting about that.
There's a couple of David has told me, David podcaster, David, not David Wright on Survivor, that if there's two people that if they win this season, David might have to give up Survivor at least for a while. We'll get into that when we start talking about next season.
I know one of them. I can't remember who the other one I said was. You'll have to remind me
I'll
after.
reveal to you when we start talking about next season. So
okay. Well, I think that'll do it for this episode of the TV is Our Real Mom Survivor Recap Podcast. Want to say thanks for listening, everyone. And
appreciate it.
Stay warm out there.
If you're in North Dakota where it's death to go outside.
Anywhere. I'm sure it's cold all over the place right now. So
probably, you're right.
Stay warm. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.
Adios.